I will be your temporary chair tonight, Matthew Peter, and Majority Council, could you please read the names of the members who are here?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Brewski and Mr. O'Brien are excused. Mr. Bergdorf?
Here.
Cleary?
Here.
Mr. Fine is excused. Mr. Tunney?
Here.
Peter?
Here.
Is here. And Mr. Reinhardt?
Here.
And Mr. Smith is excused.
We have quorum.
We have a quorum.
Fantastic. I would now entertain a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes. Moved by Mr. Bergdorf, seconded by Mr. Cleary. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Unanimous. Majority Council?
Sure. Item 2 is authorizing an agreement with the Dormitory Authority of New York State regarding the Voorheesville Quiet Zone project and amending the 2023 Public Works budget. I believe Ms. Raimondo and Mr. Rogers are here this evening.
Mr. Would you like to join us, or do you want to let Mr. Rogers?
I think I'll take this one, and then there's another quiet zone one that Lisa's gonna take.
I wasn't sure you were both listed on it.
Yeah, and thank you. Hopefully over here is an okay place to sit. Didn't want to show my bald spot right to the camera. But thank you. This is, as you indicated, both a budget amendment and an authorization to enter into a contract with DASNY for the Quiet Zone project, which for those who have been on the committee for a while, it's not the first time you're seeing this. There were a lot of back and forth between CSX, which is the railroad, their potential projects in the area with Norfolk Southern, as well as the details necessary to secure this grant with DASNY that had to be worked out. We're making progress on that and are now in a position to put these funds back into the budget and to request authorization for that DASNY contract. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers, and that's 100% state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions for Mr. Rogers? Mr. Bergdorf?
Quick one, Luke, what is the potential timeline for this?
We'd like to get the grant finalized in the first quarter of this year, pending approval and answering a couple more questions. And then, design is probably a couple of months. Construction is handled by the railroad, so I can't dictate that entirely because they're the only ones allowed to do construction on their infrastructure. So they're gonna set that timeline, but I think the goal is this year.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Rogers?
Make a motion.
Motion, Mr. Cleary, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Tunney. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Majority? Council?
Item 3 is authorizing an agreement with Denoyer Chevrolet, Inc. for the purchase of 8 2023 Chevy Bolt electric utility vehicles. And Mr. Rogers is here again.
Mr.
Yep.
Rogers?
Thank you. Pretty straightforward in terms of what the resolution states, but we've been seeking to add electric vehicles to the fleet over the past year. It was a tough vehicle market in 2022, as many of you probably are aware. So we had a couple bids that didn't get many bites, and then recently this one popped up. We were able to piggyback, and the vehicles are on the lot. So we don't have to wait for a build out. We can get them as soon as we get authorization.
Okay. Mr. Rogers, if I could, a quick question. Do we have enough, have we also installed chargers for this, and are they level 2 or are they level 3 fast chargers?
We have level 2, not fast charge, but DC level 2 chargers. We do have enough. We'll have to add, if you recall, we purchased 4 Ford Lightnings at the end of last year. Those are builds, so those we're gonna get sometime mid-year. We'll have to add more charging stations. Now that we've gotten these, we'll have to add more charging stations for when those come in, but we have time to do that. So it's a continuous, we like to build out in chunks because it's more cost effective, but you don't want to go too big, so it's kind of a balancing act.
Could I recommend maybe looking into fast chargers? That way, if it's a fleet vehicle, it can get in within, a service area rather than waiting the 6 to 8 hours.
It's something we look at. It's something that in certain instances could make, obviously there's a high cost to those. Some of it can be reimbursable. The nature of our fleet, it largely is dormant overnight.
Okay.
So we don't run into, it's different if you're a bus fleet or if you're running a 24-hour operation. I think that at some point we'll get to fast chargers, but we have the time to charge, so it hasn't been a priority.
Thank you. Mr. Berdorf?
Quick question. Do you have, now you got four, what are they calling them? Electric utility vehicles. I don't know, is that like a sedan or is it?
These ones are like a
baby
crossover.
SUV?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
crossover.
And you have the four Lightnings. Is there a distribution plan for where those vehicles are going?
So we recently completed a comprehensive fleet study that looks at exactly that. It looks at what vehicles make sense to replace first based on age, based on usage, based on a number of factors. So we'll look at that and say, most likely we have some 2015 Ford Focuses that are not hybrid, they're fully gas, and we'll probably sell those and integrate to where those were being used. Of course, it has to be comparable for size and use case, but we do have a plan for that. Spread between departments.
Okay, so it's not like the trucks are gonna go to the DPW or?
Some, but it's only 4, but it's split between a few different departments based on need.
And the
The
last-
electric, sorry.
Okay, I kind of get it. You haven't made a final determination yet.
No, not final, and the technology for the electric trucks they're not a full work truck yet. They have capabilities, but they're not a heavy-duty truck yet, it's just not there. So that's kind of where we'll slot them in for departments that need the space, need maybe the truck bed and some light work, but not, a full work truck.
Second thing was, I saw sort of a hybrid procurement process here, where it wasn't just a mini bid, Yonkers, okay? Where Yonkers had the low bid, but somehow through that Yonkers piggyback, you call it,
Yep.
were able to buy from Denoyer. How, that's the first time I've seen us, when we sort of adopt someone else's bid, be
Yeah.
able to buy locally.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it just-
I wonder how that happened and how we can make that
Did they
happen.
get Yonkers?
It
More
just so
often.
happened that they got Yonkers bid, and it's
Denoyer got
great.
Yonkers
Oh,
bid.
It's great that it's
there you
local,
go.
for us,
That's
for
great.
multiple reasons, support a local company,
Yeah.
sales tax,
Right.
all those good things.
Oh, okay, so there was an easy answer. I
Yep.
was looking for something more exotic.
No, we found it and we jumped on it because these go fast.
Any other questions for Mr. Rogers on this?
Move it.
Mr. Berdorf, seconded by Mr. Tunn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Majority Council?
Item 4 is amending resolution number 186 for 2022 regarding the demolition of
yes.
structures at 875 Albany Shaker Road, the Anley Nursing Home, and making a seeker recommendation, or I'm sorry.
And we're joined by Commissioner Latina.
How are you tonight? This, a little bit of a correction on the reading of this. This is really not for seeker. This is actually for extended abatement on the project. As they were doing the demolition on there, they discovered some friable stuff that was not really regulated. And after it was monitored, it was checked, it had to be removed as a friable material. They're running into somewhere, they're getting into the ceilings, a little bit more of extension of some of the piping that has some of the asbestos wrap on it. So we're requesting the 144,000, I'm sorry, my glasses, 144,812, an amendment to their contract, because we still want to hold on to our contingency allowance that we have there. Because like I said, right now, we're just really in the abatement portion of the project.
Okay. Questions for Mr. Latina? Mr. Berdorf?
Dave, are you basically saying when you found more friable stuff, there's more asbestos to abate?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
What it was is that with the caulking around the sill plates, they didn't realize, and it really wasn't considered a friable material. And when they went back to, I don't know if it was DOL or who they went back to, or the testing agency, they considered it as a friable material now, and it all has to be removed as friable on all those windows in the sill plates, and what they're also finding up in the attic spaces that weren't found in the initial survey.
There are also sort of like a lot of questions on the web about what we may ultimately do with this site once it's taken down. Any comments you can share?
No,
with
right
us?
now, I really don't have a comment on that. We're just trying to make a shovel-ready site.
Okay.
Any other questions for Mr. Latino? Seeing none, I entertain a motion from Mr. Cleary, seconded by Mr. Reinhardt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Majority council?
Item 5 is authorizing an agreement with the New York State Unified Court System regarding custodial and building maintenance services for the Albany County Courthouse, Judicial Society, and Family Court. And Commissioner Latine is here still.
Mr. Latino?
Yes, good evening again. This is the final fifth year of the 686 contract for the courts for building maintenance, custodial service, and minor repairs. I understand, I looked at this, it says it's 100% state. It is actually not. There's a spreadsheet in the package that states what percentages are state and what percentages are county.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Latino? Mr. Reinhardt?
I move it.
Moved by Mr. Reinhardt, second? By Mr. Smith. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We note Mr. Cleary's abstention. Okay. Passes with one abstention. Majority council?
Item 6 is authorizing an agreement with Environmental and Fueling Systems
Thank you.
LLC regarding the
Thank you,
purchase and
Mr.
installation of fueling stations for the Department of Public Works, Queens, and Knox subdivisions. Commissioner Raimondo is here this evening.
Welcome, Commissioner.
Hi, thank you. Good evening. Yes, we're requesting approval for an agreement with Environmental and Fueling Systems LLC to supply us with the new fuel tanks at our new Knox and Queens subdivisions. They'll be responsible for removing the tanks that are existing on site, as well as installing the new tanks. The new tanks are fire guarded. They have a 3-hour fire rating. They have a dual containment system, and they meet all standards.
Any questions for the Commissioner?
So they're above ground?
They're above ground. Our existing are above ground, and the new ones are above ground as well.
Any additional questions? Motion by Mr. Cleary. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Tutty? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Majority council?
Item 7 is authorizing an agreement with Peter Louisi and Brothers Contracting, Inc. for the construction of Watervliet Shaker Road, County Route 157, Phase 3 roadway improvement project in the town of Colony.
Commissioner?
Hi there. Yes, happy to say we're ready to construct this project. Peter Louisi was the lowest responsible bidder for the project in an amount not to exceed $7,338,482. Improvements to the road will include a center turn lane, a multi-use path along the south side, drainage, lighting, and signal improvements are also included in the project.
Excellent, and I'll look to my colleague from Colony.
Yeah, this is something all of us, Peter, Frank, Patty, and myself have been working on for, seems like 5 years.
Yep.
5 years. And to see it come to fruition is really very, very, very wonderful. I noticed the bidding was really tight, and you know, I drive through there every day, and to see the north side of the road taken out with just the utility poles left to relocate gives us a sense that we're up and ready to roll in the spring. What kind of time frame do you think the construction will take?
So it's scheduled to begin construction in April, and we're thinking it should be completed sometime in October.
Okay, and that's going to include the retiming of the lights at the intersections east of Corner Road, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that'll all be done before that.
Yes, it will.
It's actually replacing some of the lights,
You're-
upgrade replacement, yes.
okay. Are any of them going to be time operated, pressure operated, or?
You're gonna use
just
some
gonna be on a
microwave
timer?
detectables, and they're gonna all be timed together, so it'll be state of the art.
Great.
Just to refresh my memory, if you're north on 155, now it's a no right on red, that intersection is going to be realigned better, or there's going to be better sight, so you'll be able to make the right on red there to,
Talk about the corner.
yeah, new corner and
Watervliet Shaker.
Watervliet Shaker,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna add a turn lane on the south, or yeah, the northwest side.
Okay.
Any other questions? If so, I'll look to my friends from Colony for a motion if they would like. Mr. Bergdorf and Mr. Tani.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Congratulations, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Majority Council.
Item 8 is authorizing an agreement with CKM Electrical Services, Inc. for electrical construction services regarding the Knox Highway Garage project.
Commissioner?
Okay, so there's going to be a lot of talk about the Knox Highway Garage and then the Queens Highway Garage. There's 4 contracts for each of these projects. This is the electrical contract. CKM was the lowest responsible bidder for the electrical portion of this work, an amount of $543,095. This is exciting because the project does include roof-mounted PV solar arrays, and the energy produced by the solar arrays is going to be enough to fuel the electrical costs of the Knox building. The design engineer feels as though there's going to actually be an excess at certain times of the year. So I'm just very pleased to be moving forward with this project.
Excellent, Commissioner. Any questions for the Commissioner? Mr. Reiner?
Not a question. You and I have already talked about all of these 8 projects a little bit, especially the renewable energy part, and the geothermal part, and the air source heat pump part. I just want to compliment you. I'm really excited to see this happening at the county. I think it's a good step forward.
Thanks.
Any other questions for the Commissioner? Motion. Is there a second? Maybe for Mr. Reiner? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Majority Council.
Item 9 is authorizing an agreement with Eckert Mechanical for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning construction services regarding the Knox Highway Garage project.
Commissioner?
Yep, so this is for the HVAC contract. The project will include the installation of liquid propane boilers to fuel the radiant floor heat in the heated truck bays, office, and break room areas. There will additionally be an air source heat pump in the area where the offices and break rooms are that can be used for air conditioning as well as heating. Let's see here. Eckert was the lowest responsible bidder at $288,966.
And just a note, I'm pleased to see that we're getting some more competitive bids in after I think for a while it was single bids or other things. So, good job on that one.
Yeah, we're pleased with that.
Any questions for the Commissioner on this? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So,
Mr. Tunney, second by Mr. Cleary. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Majority Council.
Item 10 is authorizing an agreement with Eckert Mechanical for plumbing construction services regarding the Knox Highway Garage project.
Yeah, so Eckert was the lowest responsible bidder in an amount not to exceed $138,545. Actually, for this is the one, now that you mentioned
Yeah.
the competitive bids, this was the one that we only had one bid for.
Yep.
But, yeah, we would like to move forward with their bid.
Fair enough. Any questions for the Commissioner? If not, I'll entertain a motion by Mr. Cleary. Is there a second? By Mr. Tunney. All those in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Majority Council.
Item 11 is authorizing an agreement with Plank Construction Services for general construction services regarding the Knox Highway Garage project.
Yeah, so I didn't point it out, I don't know if everybody noticed, but there is a rendering of what both garages will look like. There are 4 double deep heated bays and 2 double deep non-heated bays. The solar arrays are shown. The fueling station is mounted beside the building, and that offers much better traffic flow, having it there versus somewhere offset. It also saves us the cost of piping things underground to a different location. I'll highlight some of the things about the project. It includes removal and disposal of the existing highway garage and office buildings, and construction of a new right-sized, energy-efficient highway facility. The new structure is 15,480 square feet. I spoke about the 4 heated drive-through double bays and 2 unheated drive-through double bays, as well as office space, a break room, bathroom facilities, and storage areas. The roof-mounted solar arrays will be installed to offset the building's electrical expenses. The building envelope is going to meet and exceed the requirements of the current New York State Energy Code. Additionally, the building incorporates the collection and reuse of rainwater. It will be able to wash our vehicles with the rainwater, so that's another green feature. We received 4 bids, and Plank was the lowest responsible bidder in an amount not to exceed $3.361 million.
Great. Any questions for the Commissioner on this? Mr. Bergdorf?
Lisa, when you go to the bid tab, so Plank is the lowest responsible bidder. They are the low bidder, correct?
They are the low bidder.
Okay. I saw somewhere in the concurrence form, or not the concurrence form, the Knox bid award recommendation, that there were a whole bunch, I shouldn't say a whole bunch, a number of, some alternates in, some alternates out, et cetera. What was the,
Deduct alternates.
yeah, what was
Yep.
the,
So there's a couple of alternates that we are awarding. So we're gonna do, rather than pay the contractor to do some grading work or to haul in the crusher and such, we're gonna do our own hauling. And that's gonna save us $54,600. Let's see. There is another one that we're going to do ourselves. Scott, do you know which other one we're doing ourselves? It's deduct alternate number 2, and it's saving us $35,000.
Some of that's removal of the existing fuel system, and I'm not quite sure what the other, I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
There's one
but
for permanent,
the
that's all.
third deduct alternate, but that we are not going to do ourselves, is the paving portion of it. So I will look into it and get you what the second deduct was.
no, I'm just curious as to what,
Actually, I do have it here. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Okay. The site materials. Oh, I know what it is. Okay. It's the perimeter wall. So if you look on the rendering, you'll see that there's like a stone wall at the base. There was an ad alternate for having it 8 feet high versus 4 feet high. And we decided to go with the 4 foot. So that amount was deducted.
that's a deduct.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Thank you
No, I'll take a motion. Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Cleary. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Majority Council?
Item 12 is amending resolution number 62 for 2021 regarding design and construction inspection services for the Voorheesville Rail Crossing Quiet Zone.
Hi, yes, so this is just an extension of our contract with Saratoga Rail. Their contract expired back in December, and we're requesting a 2-year extension. Just to be on the safe side, we don't think it's going to really take 2 years, but I just put it in just to be safe. So it is an extension for a contract amount which is the same. It's $131,440.
Any questions for the Commissioner? Mr. Reinhardt?
Not really a question. Paul said earlier he was waiting 5 years for his road work to happen. I've been waiting longer than that for this, and everyone involved understands why, I understand why, but we are really hopeful this will happen ASAP. The quiet zone is something that the folks in Voorheesville really would like to see and hear, not
Here.
not hear, yeah.
Yeah. I understand.
So
I can hear it too.
I will make a motion if no one else has any questions.
Mr. Reinhardt, is there a second? Second. Mr. Tunney, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? With the unanimous hope that it happens quickly. Majority Council?
Item 13 is authorizing an agreement with Gallo Construction Corporation for general construction services regarding the Queens Highway Garage Project.
Yeah, so this is much similar to the Knox Highway Garage. This is for construction, general construction of the Queens Highway Garage. So this one is super exciting because we're using geothermal heating at this location. This will be the first county building to implement geothermal heating. It's got a very carbon neutral footprint. Gallo was the lowest responsible bidder for this in an amount of $3.411 million. All of the things I mentioned for the other highway garage are the same as far as the solar panels and the size and things. It's just the heating system is different.
Same with the rainwater as well, type of thing?
Yes.
Great. Any questions for the Commissioner? If not, I take a motion by Mr. Reinhardt. Is there a second? From Mr. Cleary, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Majority Council?
Item 14 is authorizing an agreement with Eckert Mechanical for plumbing construction services regarding the Clemens Highway Garage project.
Commissioner?
Yep, so we received one bid for this. The county's hired consultant reviewed the bids and is recommending award to Eckert Mechanical, and so too are we, in an amount not to exceed $146,736.
Any questions for the Commissioner? If not, I'd entertain a motion for Mr. Cleary, second by Mr. Smith. Are all those in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous. Majority Council?
Item 15 is authorizing an agreement with T. Lemmy Mechanical for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning construction services regarding the Clemens Highway Garage project.
Commissioner?
Yes, T. Lemmy was the lowest bidder for this portion of the work, in an amount not to exceed $1.094 and $111. This again is a geothermal heating system. It will fuel the radiant floor heat. That's something I didn't mention in my previous discussion about the heating systems. Both highway garages will have radiant floor heat, and that is a very efficient source of heating. Once it heats up, it really keeps the buildings warm without using a lot of energy. This particular building will have geothermal versus liquid propane heating.
Okay. Questions for the Commissioner? If not, I take a motion for Mr. Cleary, this time seconded by Mr. Reinhardt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Majority Council?
Item 16 is authorizing an agreement with CKM Electrical Services, Inc. for electrical construction services regarding the Clemens Highway Garage project.
Yes, CKM was the lowest responsive bidder. We received 8 bids for the project. CKM's bid was $660,800. Again, their work will include the installation of the solar panels on the highway garage.
Any questions for the Commissioner? If not, I entertain a motion. Mr. Reinhardt, seconded by Mr. Smith. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Does that conclude our agenda, Majority Council?
It does. There are no further items.
Mr. Reinhardt?
I just have to say, tonight, quiet zone being addressed, electric vehicles, air source heat pumps, geothermal heat pumps, PV panels. I'm feeling greener already. I wish every agenda was like this.
With that noted, I want to thank all committee members because we did a pretty hefty agenda and we finished on time and everyone got to ask their questions. With that, I would take a motion to close.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Bergdorf. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.